Hello, Sandra Hardy here, video blog 3, and today I'm discussing neoevolution. What is neoevolution? Well, according to Harvey Feinberg, neoevolution is the evolution that is guided and chosen by humans. It is a theory that we someday soon will be able to change our own genes and the genes of our offspring to have qualities such as better memory, being stronger, being faster, possibly even choosing the sex of our children. Its primary tenets its primary tenet suggests that evolution involves traits and characteristics being passed on from parent to child. This idea tied together Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection. Natural selection is the gradual process by which biological traits become either more or less common as a result of the environment that each generation is in. Next question was, provide a technology that is altering or may alter human evolution. Now, when I was writing my notes for this project or this video blog, I suggested the technology of a medical technology of C-sections. But in the course of practicing for this, I kind of dawned on me a different medical technology, gastric sleeve surgery. I had gastric sleeve surgery in April to help me lose weight, and part of the process, which I learned from the doctor, is when they're in gastric sleeve surgery, they completely remove the bottom part of your stomach. Trying to think. Okay. Pretend for a second this is your stomach, and you've got your esophagus and going up here, and then you've got the intestines coming down here. Well, what they do is they cut off all of this part right here of the stomach, so you're just left with this part right up here, the muscle, and the muscle. So all of this. Well, he said that the doctor told me that in that process, this part of your stomach, the part that they're taking out of your stomach, in that is the gene or whatever it is that sends signals to your brain to tell you that you're hungry. That is completely removed out of here. So that kind of made me wonder if it was possible for me to have children now, since I no longer have that signal going from my stomach to my brain telling me that I'm hungry, would my children have that? Or would that be something that would change? So I don't know. I could be completely wrong, but it made me very curious, and that is definitely something I'm going to have to start looking into, because my son, my 14-year-old, we're talking about maybe taking him to have the surgery when he's 18, but if that could change evolution, if that could not change evolution, if that could change the way his future children feel hunger, maybe it wouldn't be a good idea to have it at that early age. So I don't know. That is a question, and it is possibly, I could see how it could change. If the parents don't have that function in their body, would that function still be passed on to their children? I'm thinking that's how neoevolution works. Neoevolution would be working. Okay, so next question. The potential benefits of this technology. See, the potential benefits of Okay, I'm assuming that question is gonna mean toward the potential benefits of the neoevolution technology, and I can see how that would have some potential benefits. We could take out could take out take out the the genes that create cancer. They could the genes that give people intelligence, the genes that make somebody able to talk to a video camera without completely going blank. If that is a gene. Okay, because the rest of my notes I was dealing with C-sections. I'm going to go back to that C-section part of it. My main thing that I thought about, that I was originally thinking would be an human evolution altering technology, the C-section. Read my notes from that. C-sections are on the rise, and some scientists believe that this is having an impact on human evolution. During the 1800s, C-sections were fatal for... During the 1800s, C-sections were fatal for mothers. According to a document that I found on National Library of Medicine, one estimate shows that no woman survived a C-section between the years of 1787 and 1876 in the city of Paris. Before the rise of C-sections, mothers were not able to pass traits such as having small pelvises or large babies. They were not able to pass those traits on because if the mother's pelvis was too small or the baby was too large, the birthing process would kill one or both. But with changes in technology, C-sections have become less deadly, and that means that women are now able to survive C-sections and pass those types of traits on. I chose to talk about this because I had a C-section. My son was born through C-section. Almost a month past my due date, there was no way that my 10-pound, 12-ounce child was coming out the normal way. So they had to cut me up, and I was induced labor and in labor for 13 hours, and still no progress, and that's when they decided to cut him out, and found out that he wasn't the 8-pound baby they thought he was 10 pounds, 12 ounces. Now back to the next question, which, what are potential benefits of technology? Now, my example of this was with C-sections, that's why I went back. Mothers being able to pass on, like my child. I was able to have a large child. And some of the potential benefits of larger babies is they're stronger and they're healthier as babies. I've got pictures of my child, the nurse holding underneath his arms, and he is head up, head straight, hours, minutes after being born. His head's up and he's looking around. That's not common for babies right after birth. I mean, that's most babies, their heads are wobbling. You have to hold their heads up and support their neck for a few months before they learn to do that. But with my child, he was born bigger and stronger that we joke around saying that he got up and walked right out. It's not far from the truth. So that is one of the potential benefits of neoevolution is that with mothers being able to give birth to stronger, healthier, larger babies, that they could be born with not having to have being born larger and stronger would potentially lessen the infant death problem. Death problem. Okay. Carry on. I'm completely sidetracked. So, what are some of the potential drawbacks? A potential drawback of a cesarean on evolution base could be the passing of undesirable genes, which, and again, I'm not sure if this question meant the drawbacks to neo-evolution or the technology that I chose for. Now, if you're going to go with the technology that I chose that could be having effects on human evolution, C-section, once upon a time, having a large baby was not a good trait because it was fatal to the mother and the child. Nowadays, though, with the technology we've got, it's not quite a bad thing. It could possibly prove to be a good thing. One of the drawbacks to neo-evolution technology, if that's where you're going with that question, neo-evolution could prove to be very costly to people. I mean, the video was talking about it, talking about the costs, and if you've got your higher class people, the people that can afford that type of technology, they can afford to, pick what their child is going to be, if their child's going to be faster or smarter or stronger, while the people who can't afford that are left to guess, and that's going to not only make the lower class people with the disadvantage of not having the funds, but now they're also at the disadvantage of not having that technology available to them to make their child smarter or faster and more capable of competing with the wealthier children. So that would be a drawback. See, what are some of the moral and ethical implications of neo-evolution? Moral and ethic dilemmas do come into play when you ask yourself, where do we draw the line in the attempting to control natural evolution? What genes are we going to pass on? What genes are we not going to pass on? You start picking the sex of your child, a lot of people you're not likely to get, I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm going with this. Go back to my notes here. What genes you pass on and what genes you choose to change, and what biggest ethical question is who will be privileged enough to get the choice. That's went with the last question, I guess. Obviously, I guess I answered that with my last question too. Should we continue to pursue this form of technology? Why or why not? Technology of neo-evolution, that is a very tough question to answer. On one hand, neo-evolution can help cure genetic diseases and provide for longer, healthier lives. But on the other hand, it plays with the laws of nature. For those of us who do believe in God, neo-evolution takes life out of his hands. It takes, yeah, it's, while that is a slippery slope to go down, I don't think that we would have been given the knowledge and the ability of this if we weren't meant to use it. So I think it should continue, but it needs to continue carefully. Tread carefully with that one. Biggest problem I can see with it is who gets the choice of using this technology when it is perfected. It needs to the costliness of it and who's going to use it needs to be in effect. I mean, movies come to mind of, I can't even remember the name of that movie where you had all your lower class people living on Earth, that they were the rejects of society, and I guess up above, they had a spaceship up above where the wealthy and the privileged and these people lived, and that movie kind of comes to mind with the neo-evolution technology stuff. And that kind of society is not something I would want to live in. Okay, I hope I answered every question, and this has been a very interesting class with these video blogs. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Bye.